What's going on, Legion of Zen? In the last video, we opened up a Trainer's Toolkit. This is a brand new box that came out with, they claim that it has the ability to build a powerful deck and everything that you need is inside. We're going to find out if that's true here. We opened up the box in the last video, opened up the packs that were inside, and we opened up the contents. And I've now spread out the contents onto the desk here. And what I've already done to speed things up, in the first thing you want to do when you open up packs and you want to build a deck is you want to split up your Pokemon into the type that they are. So in this case, I have Psychic, Fire, Dark Energy, Leaf Energy, Water, Electric, Steel, Colorless, Fighting, and Electric. It should be there. Electric should be with the electrics. And then what I've done also is I've taken the trainer cards, right, that came in that box. They actually sent put in a stack of trainer cards in that box, along with a stack of energy cards. So they went ahead and put that in there. Basically, there's 4 packs that came in the box as well, along with damage counters, right, and these little goodies along with some sleeves. So that's what came in it. That's what came in the box. You can go back and watch that video to see the opening, because there was also an Unbroken Bonds pack in there as well, which we opened up. I haven't put any other cards in here. This is strictly the pulls, the stuff that we got from that box. And I'm going to get right into how we're going to build a deck. So the first thing you've got is you got a ton of trainers, and those are great, but we need to find out which Pokemon we're going to be using, because there's plenty of different trainer cards in here that can be helpful in different situations for different decks. So the first thing I'm looking at right now is I've got 2 Dedenne GXs that came in that box, right? 2 Dedenne GXs. They're very good cards to have in your deck, because they actually, Dedenne will discard your hand and allows you to pull 6 cards out of your deck for your hand. So it's a very, very useful card, and there's 2 of them, and it's an electric type. So we may just be building an electric type of deck. But we also need to take a look now at what other electric cards we got in the packs. And quite frankly, it was just 2 cards. So we don't really have enough to build a electric deck here. The Shinx is not very useful. It has 60 health, under pressure, 10 plus damage. If your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, this attack does 50 more damage. So it's okay if your opponent has 3 or less prize cards remaining. So not really the best of cards there. Then you've got Morpeko, which does have a little more health. It's at 80 health there, and it has Torment, which only takes 1 colorless energy, which is nice. Does 20 damage. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. During your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't use that attack. So not bad. You could basically disable a Pokemon if they only have 1 attack, or disable the better attack of the 2 that they have. And then you have Spark, again electric. Doesn't require a lot of electric energy, which is nice. And that does 50 damage. This attack also does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So not a bad card. We can definitely do something with that. And with that said, you don't really need a lot of energy to put these in your deck. So I think we will keep these handy. The other thing I'm looking at here is we do have this Torkoal V card, which I explained what it does in the last video. But pretty much, the first attack is a fire attack. It does 90 damage. And you discard the top card of your deck. If the card is an energy card, the attack does an extra 90 damage. Not bad at all. But you are discarding a card. And if it's not an energy card, you may be discarding something that you need. So there is a downside to that. Now, you do have Steam Crush, which just does 120 damage, and this attack's a little bit better because it discards 2 energies from your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's pretty good. You can keep your opponent from building up energy with that attack if you can get those fire energies fast enough. And that's the key. So we're going to be looking at that Torkoal V as our main card in the deck. We also have a Vulpix, a Magmar. Vulpix is not all that great. There's not much to it. Magmar, 90 health, not bad for a regular card, and doesn't require a lot of energy, which is also a good thing. Heat Breath does 20 plus damage. Flip Coin, if heads, this attack does 30 more damage. So not terrible, not the best. And then we have Growlithe. Growlithe, another basic Pokemon, 80 health, 10 damage, and 30 damage. It doesn't do anything special. And then Torracat, which we can't use because we don't have a Litten, so we're going to move Torracat out of here. We can't use Torracat. And then you have Oranguru. Oranguru has a Prime Wisdom ability, which allows you to, during your turn, you can switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. So if you've got a card on your hand that you're kind of not interested in, you need something else, you could use that ability. Take a card from your deck, the top card of your deck, put it into your hand, and put that card back onto your deck. So it's not a bad attack, and I think that is a useful Pokemon to put into our deck. Now, we're also going to look at a couple of the other ones here. We've got Dreppy. Nothing really special about Dreppy. We've got a Ghastly. We don't have the evolutions for these guys. We have a Clefable. We can't use this Clefable because we don't have a Clefairy. And then we have a Mismagius, which we can't use because we don't have the pre-evolution of Mismagius. So, Psychic... not really anything really we can use here. A Galarian Yamask for fighting type. Not a terrible Pokemon. It does have Reckless Charge though, which does 50 damage, but then it does 30 to itself, and it only has 70 health. So Yamask really not a great Pokemon to put in here. We've got two of them. We do have a Rhyhorn, which has 100 health, which is pretty decent. And then it's got, a couple of weak attacks. And then a Clobbopus, which does 50 damage, which is not terrible, but it's not really that great, and it does have 80 health. So these are two viable Pokemon. We're going to take Yamask out of there because it's really not worth putting into the deck. We're going to look at the dark types. We've got a Coughing. Nothing special there. Volibee. Before doing damage, discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon. Sure. But it's not that great. And then you've got Carvanha, again, another basic Pokemon, nothing to it. And Stun Tank, we can't really use because we don't have the pre-evolution Stunky. So we're going to take those out. We've got the Leaf Applin. We've got Heracross. Heracross is a decent one. And Heracross has 130 HP, which is pretty decent for a basic Pokemon. Push down, 30 damage. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. So, not a bad attack. And then it has Superpowered Horns, which does 110 attack. So that one's actually a pretty decent card. We do have a Roselia. Roselia is fairly basic. Surskit, another fairly basic card. Blipbug, same, and a Bellsprout. So there's really not a lot going on with the Leaf Energy Pokemon, but we're going to put them here because there are some that we could use if we really wanted to. Let's take a look here at Steel type. Galarian Stunfisk is actually not a bad card. Galarian Stunfisk has 120 HP. It has Snap Trap ability, and if this Pokemon is in the active spot and it is damaged by your opponent's attack, discard an energy from your attacking opponent. So that's pretty good. You get rid of one of your opponent's energy cards. So that's not terribly bad. And then there's Damage Rush, which does 30 damage, and you flip a coin until you get tails. The attack does 30 damage more for each heads. So again, that's a good attack. I like this Pokemon. I don't like the actual Pokemon, but I like the card. Then we have Aron, or Aron, and not much going on there, and a Dual Blade, which we can't really use because we don't have the pre-evolution for it. So we're going to take these guys out. We may do something with that Galarian Stunfisk. I don't know. I like Galarian Stunfisk. We do also have a Chewtle, Seal, and these are a fairly basic Pokemon. They do decent damage for being basic Pokemon, you know, not really that great. 30 for Horn Attack, but whatever. And then you have Galarian Darmanitan and a Galarian Mr. Rhyme, which we can't use because we don't have the pre-evolutions for them. So we do have these two fellers here, and there's that. I'm going to definitely go ahead with a Torkoal V. It just makes sense. It also makes sense to throw in this Oranguru, because Oranguru is a colorless energy. I could use any energies for that card. And since we're doing fire, it kind of just makes sense to throw in these fire types, just because you're going to need some more Pokemon in there. But what I'm also looking at is we're definitely going to be using Dedenne GX, and we could use Dedenne GX in this case as an attacker as well, because we don't really have anything that's that great other than that Torkoal V, which is going to be our main event card. So we could use Dedenne GX as an attacker as well. It only does 50 damage, but you know, it's better than a lot of the stuff that we have here. So I'm thinking we're probably good to use the electric types and potentially use. So we might actually just take out the Shinx, use the Morpeko, and maybe take out the Vulpix. Maybe take out the Growlithe as well. So I'm thinking Torkoal V, Magmar, Oranguru, right? So we've got 3 Pokemon cards. We've got 2 Dedenne GXs and a Morpeko. So we've got 6 Pokemon total right now. And you want to have a little bit more. You're building a 60 card deck, so you definitely want to have some more Pokemon. I believe that this Galarian Stunfisk could be very useful. So I would venture to say let's throw in Galarian Stunfisk. I don't want to throw in too many different types though. So at this point, I am actually going to bring back the Growlithe, the Vulpix, and the Shinx, just because I don't want to have too many different types of energy to have to deal with. And I believe that at least here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 Pokemon. I think we're good. We're going to keep these guys out of here, even though I do like that Heracross. I'm going to be honest. I like the Heracross a lot. And I would not mind putting that in the deck. But again, it does require those 2-leaf energy. And I just don't want to throw in that many more energies. So we do have fire types. We have the electric types, right? We're going to put these all together, right? And then we have the fire types over here and steel type, along with, and don't be confused there with the steel type and the colorless energy. They look very similar, but they're not. As you can see, they do have a different sign up here. They are different. So colorless energy, steel. All right, now we've got pretty much our layout for what we're going to build Pokemon wise. Now we have trainers. The trainers are pretty good here. So they put in some really good trainers. Quick balls are very useful. These allow you basically go to your deck and search for a Pokemon. So we're going to put 2 of those in the deck for sure. A rare candy, we're not going to need rare candy. This allows you to skip a step in the evolution process. So if you've got a basic Pokemon and you have a, let's say you have a Squirtle, right? And then you have a Blastoise, and you don't have the Wartortle in your hand, but you have a rare candy, you can put that rare candy on that Squirtle and evolve that Squirtle into a Blastoise. So it skips the evolution step. But we're going to take that out because we can't use that here. We do have Switch. Switch is a very useful trainer card. Switch basically allows you to switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, and it doesn't require you to retreat and use your energies, which is a nice card. We do have Welder. Welder's actually great because we have some fire Pokemon, and it allows you to attach up to 2 energy cards from your hand onto that one Pokemon, and it allows you to draw 3 cards as well. So this speeds up your process of collecting energy. And you have Fire Crystal. Fire Crystal, another very useful card. You have basically put 3 energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So again, you're speeding up your fire collecting energy, whatever you want to call it. Boss's Order. Again, another useful card. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. You don't want to deal with that Pokemon that he or she has right there that's about to attack you. And you know what? They've got a Pokemon back there that's not very useful, and you want to take it out. So go ahead and switch that Pokemon out. Boss's Order, another very useful card. Energy Spinners. Search your deck for basic energy. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you go second, it's your first turn. Search up to 3 basic energy cards instead of 1. So very useful. This allows you to go find more energies. Hyper Potion. Heal 120 damage from one of your Pokemon that has at least 2 energies attached to it. If you heal any damage in this way, discard 2 energy from it. So this is an okay card. It's not bad. I'm not sure that we're going to use it. Team Yell Grunt. Put an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon in their hand. So basically all you're doing is their active Pokemon has an energy and you're making that energy go back to their hand. So they're going to have to use up the next turn to put that energy onto their Pokemon again. It's useful. It's not the best, but we'll take a look. We have Twin Energy. This one's actually pretty good. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon that isn't a Pokemon V or a GX, it provides 2 colorless energies. Why is this one a good card to have? Well, remember, we have Oranguru here, and Oranguru is a colorless Pokemon, and it requires 3 colorless energies to do its attack. So why not speed up the process and get colorless energy onto that Pokemon? You also have, Vulpix over here that requires 2 colorless energies. So I think it's a useful card to have. I say we put it in. And they count as energies. So there are 3 of them. I don't think we're going to put in all 3. We're just going to put in 2. We also have Speed Electric Energy, and this is a nice one. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides electric energy. When you attach this card from your hand to an electric Pokemon, draw 2 cards. So you're drawing cards and you're putting electric type energy on your electric Pokemon. So this is better than a regular energy card, in my opinion. And we're going to put these off to the side because I don't want to mix them up with the trainers. And then, of course, we have the reset stamp here. Your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards. That's a decent card. It's pretty useful. Tool Scrapper. Choose up to 2 Pokemon tools attached to a Pokemon. So we're going to take those out. It allows you to discard tools. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm thinking these are a maybe. Capricious Bucket, this is for your water energies, so we're going to take those out. Mallow and Lana, switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. So that's not bad. That's not bad. And when you play this card, you may discard 2 other cards from your hand. If you do, heal 120 damage from the Pokemon you moved to the bench. So you could discard them. You don't have to. This is actually a pretty good card, and this kind of can replace your switch. So if you're in a bind and you're like, well, I've got too many trainer cards already, you could theoretically take your switch cards out and put in the Mallow and Lana instead. And what that does is it allows you to do the same exact thing, right? And there you go. So we could theoretically take these out. Let's go ahead and put them off to the side because we've got Mallow and Lana. Now you could also, if you really want to have more of the ability to switch Pokemon around, you could put those 2 switch cards in there as well. You just want to be careful because there's a lot of trainer cards at the moment. So we've got Pokemon Pokegear 3.0, and this looks at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a supporter card you find there and put it into your hand. So it's a useful card. It allows you to look for supporter cards. We're going to put that off to the side as a maybe right now. Pokemon Communication. Reveal a Pokemon from your hand and put it into your deck. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. This is actually a pretty good card because this allows you to switch a Pokemon that you have in your hand with one that's in your deck. You might want to be able to do that if, for example, you have a Vulpix in your hand and you don't really want to use Vulpix. You want to use Torkoal V, right? So you can go search for Torkoal V. So, very useful. Metal Saucer we're not going to use. This is for metal types. Surprise Box we're not going to use. Evolution Incense. Search your deck for an evolution Pokemon. We're not going to do that. We don't really have any evolution Pokemons to use here. Green's Exploration. You can play this card only if you have no Pokemon with abilities in play. Search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. This is actually a pretty good card, but we're going to put it off to the side. A Giant Hearth. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a card from their hand. If they do, that player searches their deck for up to 2 fire energy cards, reveal them, and put them into their hand. This allows you to discard a card and get 2 energy cards from your deck. So it's very useful. It's very useful. Aurora Energy. You can attach this card to one of your Pokemon only if you discard another card from your hand. As long as this card is attached to the Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but provides 1 energy at a time. So this is actually a useful one if you have a lot of Pokemon from different energy types, but it does force you to discard a card from your hand. So that's a maybe right now. Truefield Stadium is for Leaf Pokemon. We're going to take that one out. Vitality Band. This attack, the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. This is actually fairly decent right now because we have some Pokemon in here that don't have a lot of attack power. Air Balloon. The retreat cost of this of the Pokemon that this card is attached to is 2 energy less, 2 colorless energies less, which is decent. We're going to put this off to the side. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it at the bottom of their deck. If either player puts any cards at the bottom of their deck in this way, draw 5 cards. Your opponent draws 4 cards. Not a bad card. Let's put it off to the side. Ordinary Rod. Shuffle up to 2 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. Shuffle up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. So not bad. You can put stuff back from your discard pile. And then Professor's Research. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards, which is basically a better version of the Denny GX. It allows you to discard your hand and then draw 7 cards. So one of the things that I'm looking at is we only have 10 Pokemon here. So I did find this seal. The seal does have a colorless energy attacks. So 2 colorless energies, and because we're doing the twin energies, we could potentially get we can put any energy on this seal. So could go with that. And the other thing I was looking at was Heracross and Galarian Yamask. Galarian Yamask I don't like because it's only 70 HP. It does 50 damage, but it does 30 damage to itself. So Heracross, if you look at, it's got 130 HP and it's got a 30 attack, right? And it only requires 2 energy. So I think that is the way to go. We're definitely going to use these twin trainers in there. We're also going to use these 2 speed energy they're not trainers, speed energies. And so I think that's pretty good. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw in the 2 switch cards that we took out earlier. We'll go ahead and put these 2 reset stamps in there. And Hyper Potion. So let's go ahead and do Hyper Potion. We're going to have quite a bit of energies in this. So we don't mind having that Hyper Potion in there because since we're putting in a lot of energies into the deck, we don't mind discarding 2 energy cards in order to heal our Pokemon. So that's the way I'm seeing it right now. Here's what I'm thinking. This toolkit is great. It comes with so much, but I don't think you can build a very viable deck out of the toolkit. Let's be honest. The 4 packs don't provide enough good Pokemon in order to do that. I think that they should have thrown in some more Pokemon with the trainer toolkit just to kind of get you going. But let's just take a look and see now what we've got. All right, so we have, like I said, we have 30 trainers right now. We have 12 Pokemon, and then we're going to look at energies. So we have 4 energies right here. All right, guys, so I need to interject this real quick. I did make a critical mistake here. I did have a Galarian Stunfisk in the deck. Now, what I did not do was put a energy card in order to use that Galarian Stunfisk, which requires a steel energy. And it's funny because I mentioned don't make the mistake of confusing a steel type with a colorless type and never realized that I had actually put in the steel type Stunfisk. So real quick, we're going to make an adjustment here, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So we've got some electric energies. We do have the twin energies, which is great, and then we've got some leaf energies along with some more electric and some fire energies. So what I'm actually going to do here is we're going to remove one of the leaf energies, and we're going to remove one of the electric type energies. And I'm going to go through these energies here, right? And we're going to find a steel type. I know that we've got some, so there's a steel one right there. And we have another steel one here. So I am going to throw in those 2 steel type energies for the Galarian Stunfisk, and that should replace what we had going on there, because that Galarian Stunfisk is actually pretty good. So we do want to be able to use it if we can. Quite frankly, to start things off, yes, the box is awesome. It comes with everything you need to build a deck. You're not going to be able to build a good deck, but you will be able to build a deck. So what I recommend is you get the trainer box, the trainer toolkit, and you supplement that by some packs, separate packs as well of the newest sets, and just build a deck with that. But this is how you do it. This is how you do it with the limited stuff that they give you, and you could. It works. You can build a deck. So thank you very much for watching, and make sure you check out this video right over here. It's going to be a opening video of Rebel Clash.